from Initiative Tabletop, and today we're going to check out Chipleader by Audinauts Game. You might recognize Audinauts. Audinauts actually did Roll a Roost, Chipleader, and Cavemen Playing with Fire. Basically, Audinauts is a bunch of alien creatures that came to Earth, and they went around and played at all the different casinos, and they got kicked out because they were winning. Probably cheating, knowing the Audinauts are little mischievous aliens. And they wound up creating their own casino on their own planet. And that's what Chipleader is. It's a game where you have some casino theme to it. So let's take a look inside and I'll show you how it works.
So this is the basic setup for Chipleader. Everybody is given 3 of the suit cards, and these are face up in front of them. You also have a neat guide that shows you what cards you would draw once you complete these suits. So these are just nice game aids that everybody gets to have. But basically what's going to happen during the course of the game, you're going to be trying to complete suits out here with your suit cards that you have. Consider this your gateway. Once you complete a suit out here, you'll get to draw the number of cards indicated on here depending on how many is in the suit. And the number of cards you draw, you can draw from either one of these stacks. This is the chip stack, and these are the face cards. The chip cards is the main thing that you're actually going to be trying to acquire throughout the game. As you see, this is a piece of a chip. And as you see, you have another piece here. So if you combine these two, you got half of the chip piece. You can't lay this down until you have a full chip. So you'll keep drawing cards and you'll wind up creating a full chip, and then you'll lay these down. But you can't just lay them down as soon as you have these chip pieces. You also have to have a casino card. The casino cards are found in both decks. The casino cards look something like this. For instance, this one's Monte Carlo. It doesn't necessarily give you any special powers or buff ups or anything for going to these specific casinos. This is just something that you have to lay down when you have the 4 pieces for the completed chip. You also have the face cards. The face cards are designed to either defend your chip, which you could place a king here and it would defend your chip, but it can beat a queen or a jack. And then it also has this special ability as well, which in this case you would just swap the lowest tile and put it on top. So you can use it for attacking people as well. You can also use it to get rid of somebody's queen or jack. And each one of these face cards, that's what they're all for. They're for defense and they're for attack, and each one has their special abilities. You also have, of course, the casino cards are in here as well. So during the course of the game, say for instance it's my turn, I would look up here and I would try to create a suit. Well, in this case, I have 2 spades and 1 crown. You have to have 3 minimal to create anything in order to draw cards. So I can choose on my turn. There's a couple different options. I can say I discard this crown, and every diamond that's out there will get replaced with a new suit card. So this would get discarded, and I'd place 1 here and 1 here. Now I can create a suit. So I'll go ahead and create a suit. On here, you'll see that if you have 3 of the spades, you can draw 1 card. So I would just draw 1 card, and these are hidden. This is a chip card that I chose to draw. And now, these cards that are a completed suit will get replaced, and they'll just have new cards placed over them. And now if it had created a suit, I can go ahead and claim it and claim those cards. But since it doesn't, I'm done. Since I completed a suit, I will just draw a face-up card, and this is available for me on my next turn. Say it gets back to me, and there's really nothing that I want to work with. I don't want to discard a card. I can just simply say I'm going to skip my turn, and I draw a card. Now say for instance, I had discarded that crown earlier, and I had not laid down any cards. Well, I don't draw a card. You only draw a card whenever you're choosing to skip your turn, or whenever you have completed a suit, you draw only 1 card. It doesn't matter how many suits you complete, you only draw 1 card. So the game's going to go around until you just basically complete a bunch of chips, and once the 4th casino has been visited, and there have to be 4 different casinos, then the game ends. People count up the points that's on their chip, which in this case you see that this particular piece is 10, so this would be 10 plus whatever other of the 3 pieces add up to, and whoever has the most points wins the game.
know, a lot of times whenever I see a game, especially a game in such a small box, I usually anticipate that it's going to be something that is a light game, a fairly, simple game as far as mechanics go. Chipleader, surprisingly enough, has quite a bit of complexity to it. It's got, of course, the luck, and it does feel a bit light in some areas, but the mechanics are very more complicated than what I anticipated it to be. I guess the box fooled me is what it is. My only complaint about Chipleader is the rule book can be ambiguous, and there was a lot of times that instead of playing the game the first few times, I was sitting there debating what did the rules intend. What did they mean for this? What did they mean for that? And then eventually things started to make sense, but it took a few plays and a few trial and errors to try to figure out what exactly we were doing and were we doing it right. The rulebook isn't atrocious, but it could use some more work and more clarity. Maybe some better examples would help. Chipleader actually turned out to be a pretty fun game. It was one that I was happy to get to the table and to try out. I even got the chance to take it over and play it with four people total, and it played pretty well with 4 people. I really find that basically 2 to 4 people, somewhere in that range, it plays the same. The game doesn't necessarily change all that drastically, which is great. I like a game that I can play with just 2 people and have fun, 3 and 4, and I can also have the equivalents in fun as well. So Chipleader by Audinauts is actually a pretty fun game, and don't let the little box fool you. It's actually got quite a bit of depth and complexity, and strategy, and of course luck, and of course gamers love luck. I mean, that's why we use dice all the time. So if you get the chance, check out Chipleader by Audinauts. And thanks for checking out Initiative Tabletop. May the dice roll in your favor.
Come on, baby. Mama needs a new pair of shoes. Blackjack! Woohoo!